Let's see about acoustic neuroma. Acoustic neuroma is also called as vestibular schwannoma, neurilemoma, and eighth nerve tumor. Site of acoustic neuroma, most commonly it occurs at the cerebellopontine angle, the angle between the cerebellum and the pons. It is a benign, encapsulated, extremely slow growing tumor of eighth nerve, that is vestibulocochlear nerve. Microscopically, there is presence of elongated spindle cells with rod-shaped nuclei. Most commonly, acoustic neuroma occurs unilaterally. If it occurs bilaterally, then it is associated with neurofibromatosis. Origin of acoustic neuroma. The tumor arises from the Schwann cells of the vestibular division of 8th cranial nerve. So it arises from the Schwann cells of the vestibular division of the 8th nerve. And it occurs within the internal auditory canal. Then from there it appears in the cerebellopontine angle. It further grows anteriorly or postero-inferiorly. If it grows anteriorly, it affects the 5th cranial nerve and 7th cranial nerve. If the tumor grows postero-inferiorly, it affects the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th cranial nerves. The 5th cranial nerve, as you all know, is trigeminal nerve. 7th nerve is facial nerve. 9th glossopharyngeal nerve. 10th vagus nerve. 11th spinal axillary nerve. And 12th is hypoglossal nerve. Classification of acoustic neuroma is based on the size. Small size is when the tumor size is less than 1.5 cm. Medium size between 1.5 and 4 cm. Large size if the tumor is more than 4 cm. Coming to the clinical features. Acoustic neuroma most commonly occurs in the age group of 40 to 60 years and it is equal in both males and females. Initially, cochlear symptoms occur which are hearing loss, which is sensorineural hearing loss, and tinnitus. And then it is followed by vestibular nerve symptoms like vertigo, nausea and vomiting. Even though the vestibular nerve is affected first, the cochlear symptoms only appear first rather than vestibular symptoms. Thirdly, there will be cranial nerve involvement. As we have seen earlier, if it grows anteriorly, it affects the 5th and the 7th cranial nerves. And if the tumor grows postero-inferiorly, it affects the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th cranial nerves. So by growing anteriorly, if it affects the 5th cranial nerve, there is reduced corneal sensitivity and there will be numbness or paresthesia of the face. If the 7th nerve, that is the facial nerve, is affected, it has both sensory fibers and motor fibers. So if the sensory fibers are affected, it causes hyposthesia of the posterior meatal wall. This is called as Hitzelberger sign. Hyposthesia of posterior meatal wall. Next, there will be loss of taste as the chordotympanoid nerve is affected. This can be seen by electrogustometry. Also, there is decreased lacrimation, which can be seen by Schirmer's test. These are all the sensory fibers. And next, if the motor fibers of the 7th nerve is affected, it leads to delayed blink reflex, as the motor fibers involved in blink reflex. If the tumor grows postero-inferiorly, 9, 10, 11, 12 cranial nerves are affected. If the glossopharyngeal nerve, where it's the 9th cranial nerve, is affected, it causes dysphagia. If the vagus nerve is affected, it causes hoarseness of voice. If the spinal axillary nerve is affected, it causes reduced movement of the shoulder. So the shoulder cannot move. And if the hypoglossal nerve is affected, there is impairment of the tongue movement. And as the fourth symptom, there can be brainstem involvement, due to which there is ataxia, weakness and numbness of the arms and legs, and also increased tendon reflexes. Fifth, there can be cerebellar involvement, which can be tested by finger-nose test, heel-knee test, dysdiadechokinesia and ataxic gait. And sixth, there will be increased intracranial tension which compresses the sixth nerve, leading to diplopia and blurring of vision. Coming to the investigations of acoustic neuroma, we perform audiological test to know the hearing loss. That is the pure tone audiometry, in which we can see sensory neural hearing type. Then in speech audiometry, there will be poor speech discrimination and recruitment phenomenon is absent. So all these indicate there is retrocochlear lesion. That is why there is sensory neural hearing loss. Also we perform stapedial reflex test, stapedial reflex decay test and caloric test, neurological test to detect the cranial nerve function, cerebellar function and brainstem signs. Then we can do radiological investigations like MRI with gadolinium contrast. This is the gold standard for acoustic neuroma. The gold standard diagnosis for acoustic neuroma is MRI with gadolinium contrast. And BERA can be performed, brain stem response audiometry. So if there is delay of more than 0.2 millisecond in wave 5 between the 2 ears, it suggests there is acoustic neuroma. There will be delay of more than 0.2 milliseconds in the fifth wave between 2 ears. The differential diagnosis of acoustic neuroma are Meniere's disease and cerebellopontine angle tumors. So any tumors occurring in the cerebellopontine angle like meningioma, primary cholesteatoma and arachnoidal cyst. These are the differential diagnosis for acoustic neuroma. Lastly, the treatment for acoustic neuroma. First, surgery. The surgery is the treatment of choice for acoustic neuroma. So we will do surgical removal. Approach for the surgery can be of different types like middle cranial fossa approach, translabyrinthine approach, suboccipital, that is retrosigmoidal approach and combined approach. So the surgery can be performed in any of these approaches. The second treatment is radiotherapy using X knife or gamma knife surgery. So this is performed in patients who refuse surgery or in the patients in whom surgery is contraindicated. So this is all about acoustic neuroma. Thank you.